Years ago, when the author Rachel Reid pressed send on her first manuscript, she didn't tell anyone she was submitting it for publication, not her husband or any other loved ones in Nova Scotia. That novel became the first in a series of queer hockey romance books, one of them the steamy New York Times bestseller, Heated Rivalry. Maybe you've seen the show that has been inspired by this. Adapted for TV by Canadian director Jacob Tierney.
Ilya Rosanov?
Shane Hollander, I wanted to introduce myself.
The show just picked up a GLAAD nomination for Outstanding New TV Show, and Rachel Reid's once niche romance is now a global phenomena. Celebrities are praising Heated Rivalry on award show red carpets.
Well, who didn't watch Heated Rivalry? Okay, what do you think? I think it's phenomenal.
Fans say they're going to NHL games for the very first time.
Who do you think is secretly dating?
The actors who starred in Heated Rivalry are torchbearers at the 2026 Winter Olympics. The thing is, Rachel Reid doesn't have a lot of time to soak it all in right now. She's currently writing the next book in the series that gave us Heated Rivalry. Unrivaled is due to be published this coming September, so we are so very grateful that Rachel Reid took some time away from her computer to join us in the Q studio today. Hello, Rachel.
Hello.
I'm so sorry for pulling you from your writing.
No, I am very happy to not be writing.
How is it going? There is a lot going on for you right now. Are you able to concentrate on the writing?
I'm trying very hard to, because that is the thing that I need to focus on. Everything else is lovely, but my job is to write a book, and I'm trying to focus on that. And I'm also, it's a joy to be the one who gets to write what happens next to these characters.
Right, and everyone is just waiting to see what happens next to these characters. I want to know when it hit you. Like, what was the situation when it hit you that this thing was going to take off or was on its way to taking off in life-changing ways?
I mean, I have to say the biggest change was when HBO picked it up.
Right.
Because and said that they were going to air it the same night as the Canadian broadcast. So that I knew was going to change everything. It was going to take it from something that I suspected a lot of people were going to find their own ways to watch outside of Canada to something that a lot of people were going to be watching in a legal way.
Right.
And at the same time. So because it's so important with the internet that things are watched at the same time now. So I was like, this will change it from, something that people don't want to see spoilers about or anything like that to a global conversation.
Right.
And it did.
Were you ready for this global conversation? Was it something that you ever imagined as you were writing the series and the book?
No, I never thought that these books would be adapted. It didn't seem likely to me at all when I was writing them. And even when I knew that it had been and made into a show that I knew was very good, I still thought it would find a very niche audience, and maybe that audience would be largely just in Canada. But, and even when I found out it was going to be outside of Canada, I still didn't think it would find this wide an audience and this enthusiastic an audience. I am just really, overwhelmed and thrilled. I don't think you can prepare for what happened with this show. I don't think it's possible. So I think I've just been in shock for the last few weeks, but...
I know that it was shocking for you when University of Cambridge invited you to speak, and they told you about their previous guests being, the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, that was on the list.
For one, what was your reaction to that ask?
Yeah, there's been a lot of things I've been asked to do that I never thought I'd be able to do. And my initial reaction was, this is not real.
Right.
And also that, I was like, I'm not Kurt Vonnegut. Like, I don't know, this doesn't make sense. But just in general, being asked to do anything or go anywhere is quite overwhelming and exciting for me right now. I mean, I just wrote these books, pretty pretty lonely, a pretty lonely task in my house in Nova Scotia. And so having this whole world open up to me suddenly is very exciting.
Take me back to that. I want to know where it all started. You submitted this manuscript. It's your first novel. You didn't tell your husband or your family, kept it a secret. Where did that reluctance come from? Like, what was going through your head where it just felt like it had to be something that was done undercover?
Just a lack of confidence, I think. It's very vulnerable writing romance, especially sexually explicit romance, which my books are. It's also, I just find it very scary to invent something, create imaginary characters and show them to people and ask people to like them, which is very important, especially with romance. You need people to fall in love with these people you made up. And it just, I needed a professional to tell me it was good before I could tell other people that I wrote it.
I understand that. I get that. That makes perfect sense. The hockey piece you come at that real honestly, like a real Canadian. Like hockey is in ya, right?
Yeah.
So it started in childhood. You're in Nova Scotia. You played hockey.
Very briefly. There was no girls hockey in my town at the time. This would have been the mid to late 90s. So I got to play with the boys for 1 year when I was 14.
Oh man.
I had to play with boys who were younger than me. And that was the only year I could play because there was nowhere for me to go. Also, I was very, very bad because if you start hockey at 14, you're not very good. But prior to that, I was doing whatever they would let me do where I could put on hockey gear. So I took power skating lessons. I went to hockey camps in the summer. Anything that I could put gear on and sort of play hockey, I would do. I just loved wearing the gear. You know, I just used to fire a puck off a board at the side of my parents' brick house, just, you know, in case any scouts came by and wanted to see what I could do. Even though I had nothing to work towards, I just did it anyway. I really loved hockey from a young age, and it gave me a bunch of knowledge that I felt I should put to some sort of use, and that's what these books are.
So you said, these, I'm putting on the hockey gear. Now let's write a book about taking off the hockey gear. Let's just flip the script. I wonder about hockey as a culture. Like, as Canadians, I grew up in a hockey town as well, and I think everyone grew up in a hockey town if you're in Canada. We're all into hockey, and there is a culture that is very much a part of hockey. It's not just the game. There is a culture involved. There's community involved. And I understand that you've had complicated feelings around hockey culture. Can you tell me about the feelings that you work through as you work at writing about this game that can feel so fraught at times?
It's definitely given me a place to work out my feelings about toxic masculinity in general, about the kind of conformity that gets forced on a lot of men. In Canada, I think hockey, like that kind of like, there's like a blueprint for masculinity that I think really comes from hockey, and it's like a stoicism. Mm-hmm. It's like an emotional repression. It's not talking about things like mental health. It's there's a lot of misogyny. There's a lot of homophobia, and all of those things sort of shape the idea of what men should be like in Canada, I think. Even if you don't play hockey. And it's something that's always bothered me, and I wanted to explore it. And that's what I did with these books. So, yeah, I think it's there. I think probably most Canadians know what I mean and are familiar with that. Mm-hmm. It's just hockey players are very much put on a pedestal in every town. If you're the best hockey player in your town, you're probably going to be treated like a bit of a god. And that can lead to a lot of toxic things. So all of these things mm-hmm. I like to explore in these books.
And does it feel like you're able to explore it, but also sort of compartmentalize it in a way for your own self as you write about it? I would imagine like it's a great exercise in being able to do that.
Yeah, because I do love hockey. And so I wrestle with this where I love the game and I watch a lot of NHL hockey, for better or for worse. And but I do have all these feelings. So these books give me a place to work out those feelings. And I feel like it's almost like a penance. There's a price to, I was like, it balances out things. So I feel better about all of the time and money I give to loving, especially men's professional hockey.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So Heated Rivalry, it's the second book in your whole hockey romance, as I look at your books here, series. For those who don't know, it's about two closeted gay hockey players. There's Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov. They're rivals on the ice. They're both great at the sport, but they fall in love, which is lovely. You've joked that you didn't know your book was going to be analyzed like The Great Gatsby. But why do you think that this sexually explicit book about two men caught fire, especially with, like a woman like myself, a straight woman? I'm into it. Everything Ilya. I'm all things Ilya, all things Shane. But, why do you think it has caught fire in that way?
I don't know, like, if I'm the best person to answer, because it's like it's so close to me, but because I can't really explain why people love something that I wrote.
Right.
Probably without sounding like I have a massive ego. But I do think the characters are a big part of it. I think probably Ilya specifically is a big part of it. I think he's a complicated character. He's got that like kind of bad boy but actually good thing that is very appealing. I think, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had the answer, because then I'd write a million more books just like it.
Well, you've definitely tapped into something in the zeitgeist right now. And I've seen many think pieces. There's so many think pieces on your work. You could just spend all day reading. But one of the ones that I read was talking about yearning and how the series has captured yearning, this deep emotional longing that you find in a slow burn kind of relationship. And I know that people think about this in terms of their own relationships, but just in yearning in general. Am I hitting on something here with I know that you're not in the mind of people that are into this, so I'm not asking you to go into the mind, but just if you were to just reflect on what you think might be the thing that people are really, I think that yearning piece feels right for this moment.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it. Like, the thing is, like, I mean, the appeal maybe of romance in general is like a lot of people, you might really fall in love once, or, maybe it happens to you multiple times, or maybe it never happens, but like that feeling, that excitement, that giddiness that you have of having even a crush on somebody, of having that yearning, of the like trying to figure out if they like you too, and then finding out they do like you too, and then the early part of the relationship, all of that is so exciting, and it's it's so wonderful. And then a lot of people don't get to relive that feeling, so you get to do it over and over and over again by reading these kinds of books, so and by writing them. So I think that's maybe part of the appeal. I think people like to be either reminded of what that feeling is like, or they like to have hope that they will have that feeling. And I have had quite a few people since the show came out tell me that they it's made them want to try for a relationship, or made them believe in love again.
Look at you.
So it's lovely to hear.
You're opening hearts, opening minds, and just writing books at the same time. I want to go back to when you learned about the screen adaptation, that it was going to be happening. But before I get deep into that, I want to talk about something that happened 4 days before you were approached about making it into a TV show. Would you mind sharing with us the moment that you got a diagnosis, you got some complicated news?
I did, yeah. Not surprising news at the time, but still, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, like early onset Parkinson's, in August of 2023. I'd had a lot of symptoms for over a year, so it wasn't a huge surprise, but, it's still not the best thing to hear, but, so that was, some heavy news. And then, I think it was 4 days later, I got an Instagram DM from Jacob Tierney, who told me that he loved the books.
Wow.
And asked me if I'd be open to him adapting them for film. And could we talk? And I was like, yes, absolutely. And I just really clung to that after that initial DM, because I was like, I'm just going to pretend this is definitely happening because I really need this right now. And it really did help get me through the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like this. You mentioned balancing before, like how you balance the scales. It feels like an apt balancing that feels like this news and then this news.
Yeah.
And this is life.
Yeah. And, I worried that, if the good news went away, that it might be hard, but that didn't happen. And it just kept becoming better and better news.
And better and better.
So it worked out. Yeah.
I don't need to tell you what a global phenomena this show has become. This 2 stars, Hudson Williams and Connor Story, they went from waiting tables. You are changing lives, Rachel. You are just changing.
That's been my favorite part of all of this.
This is it. You are changing lives. These guys went from waiting tables to the Golden Globes. I understand that NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman said he watched it.
Maybe.
I don't know. He said it.
He said it.
We know for sure that ex-Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he watched it.
Oh, yeah. I believe that one.
I believe that one, too. There was a non-NHL hockey player from Minnesota said that it inspired him to come out.
Mm-hmm. That was lovely. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I've heard that you've received messages from closeted athletes from all kinds of sports. Are you able to respond to those? Like, how are you receiving this kind of input and sharing?
Lately, and I'm sad about it, but I haven't been able to respond to all of the emails and messages I've been getting. I've been reading them, but I haven't really had time to respond to them. But there have been so many lovely stories that people have shared with me, including athletes. I'd say mostly former hockey players or other team sports athletes who felt really seen by the show or by the books, just letting me know that they could relate a lot to the closeted players and how hard it was. But they were out now, and a lot of them be like, I've been with my husband for this many years. Just lovely endings to these stories. Yeah. But it is nice that people are sharing their stories with me, and I do appreciate it. And I wish I had more time to reply to all of them. But, before the show, I got messages like that as well about the books, and I did try to reply to all of those. But it's definitely become a lot more difficult to do that. But I do appreciate all of them, and I do read them.
This is the thing that, writing can be, I'm not a writer myself, but I imagine it's such an insular sort of space that you have to inhabit. And now, and then you let other people in, you put it out into the world and you let other people in. But now you're now there's millions of people coming into this insular space of yours. And not only that, but connecting deeply with how you've decided to share your gift with the world. I just wonder how you're even processing that part of it, that, because people are outwardly sharing that, yes, we are connecting with you.
Yeah, it's really surreal to see and hear so many people talking about these characters and this story, the way that these tiny little references from the show and from the books don't even need to be explained. Like all these, things like I'm coming to the cottage are now just on every
That's
like
right.
corporate social media account. There's like every major art gallery right now is posting like paintings of cottages with like I'm coming to the cottage, like, and it's like that's all they have to put. They don't even really have to put a hashtag or anything. People know exactly what they're talking about and why they're posting that, and that is surreal to me. Like, I think just hearing people talking about the characters out in the wild, seeing people reading the books even out in the wild. I was at the airport yesterday in Halifax, and every TV in the terminal had an ad for Heated Rivalry on the screen, like a static ad. And I didn't know where to sit because I was like, if I sit anywhere, I'm under one of these screens. And that's weird. that's like, it's weird to go from these characters only existing in my head to having a small, fan base, to having a slightly larger fan base, and then to having this where I don't even have to explain what I write anymore. I can just say I wrote Heated Rivalry and people know exactly what that is. And that is a huge shift from a couple months ago.
And how are you, like, just personally, like your internal self dealing with that? Does it feel like I'm okay with it? It's a positive kind of force, or I feel like is there some pressure there?
It's definitely positive. Like, it's definitely a blessing and wonderful in pretty much every way. It does create some pressure, and it is just generally overwhelming, like, and surreal. But it's also, I think wouldn't even say every author dreams of this, because I don't even think you'd think to dream of this. I certainly didn't. So this is such an extreme case of author success that I'm very, very grateful. And I feel very good that it's coming from a show that was made so well and with so much respect for me and what I wrote. And it's made by such good people. And I'm just really proud to have been a part of any of that.
Yeah. You've done it. And soon enough, you're going to be in that Halifax airport and people are going to recognize you and you won't be able to get away from it.
I got recognized by one person.
Well, the door's opening. So I hope you're ready for it. There is something that you've done here that I love as well. And as a Canadian, I love how much you've pushed our culture out into the world, where people are like, oh, loons. Huh, that's what they have. Oh, people just go to a cottage? A cottage? You just go there? Yes, that's what we do. That's what we do. It's such a wonderful perspective that is out into the world. You are now a Canadian ambassador.
Well, I'm a poli-sci major, so that's what I always wanted to be. So that's great.
I read something. Now, this is my opportunity to dispel maybe it's a myth, because this is what happens when you have something that has entered into the world. People start to mythologize it. And, did I hear that a streamer suggested not having any kissing on the show until episode 5, when they first started thinking about airing Heated Rivalry?
I've heard that, and
wow.
I believe it's true. I know early on, I didn't hear anything that specific, but I did hear that there were some major streamers that had a lot of notes, and that's why Jacob was very happy to make it in Canada for Crave, because he would have all the control and be able to make the show he wanted to make, and that was the most important thing. So I'm really, really glad that that's what happened. And I think it's been great to show the world what, Canadian film can be and what it can do.
Yeah. And how sexy it can be.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had a lot of, like, when people think about Canadian film, sexy is not generally the thing that people bring up. But is there anything, does it feel vulnerable to write such sexy scenes?
Yeah, definitely. I think it does feel vulnerable, but I enjoy writing them. It's not something that's scary or difficult for me. So yeah, it's not a bad feeling, but it's I mean, I guess it's nice now that everybody's enjoying this show and everyone's talking about, you know, how much they enjoy the sex scenes. And it's like, see, I'm not the weirdo.
We are all in it with you. Someone told me this statistic that for every 3 sexy scenes in the series, there's probably about 15 in the books.
Wow.
Is that the right math?
That doesn't sound wrong.
Is the math mathing here?
Doesn't sound wrong.
Come here.
No, you come here.
No, you come here.
No, you come here.
Another surprising thing to come out of the show's success is that it did lead to some wonderful things for you, some help with Parkinson's. You said that an expert reached out to you after hearing your diagnosis in a public, in an interview.
Mm-hmm.
How has that changed things for you?
Well, I have a new neurologist back home, and who is a Parkinson's specialist, and I had not ever gotten to talk to a Parkinson's specialist before. I was on a waiting list, a very long one.
Right.
And I knew that there was always a chance I might get moved up that list because I'm young and for, you know, some other reasons specific about, I guess, some of the rarities about my particular case. But yeah, it was the expert in the States really helped get me like a referral to this neurologist at home. So they are now taking over my care, which I think will make a big difference, just having somebody who really knows the disease really well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen crazy tabloid rumors about my miracle life-saving celebrity secret treatment.
No, stop it.
But I swear there's nothing, nothing has happened. I've just been reassured that the medication I'm on is correct, and you know, I'm doing well. There's no secret blood transfusions happening or anything. It's very much just, you know, I'm seeing a doctor who's an expert in Parkinson's, and that's wonderful on its own. But there's no secret cure that I'm getting.
I got to ask you this question. You are currently writing the next part of Shane and Ilya's story, a book called Unrivaled that's due out in September. There's obviously a lot more noise and anticipation around this story now. How do you tune all of that out and put yourself back into writing mode? And again, I apologize for pulling you out of writing mode. What's the trick that you use? What are you doing?
I'm off social media. That's been
is that right?
Huge help. My writing has gotten so much better since I did that. And it's only been a few days, but it really, the difference is huge as far as having free time too. So, and I just needed to, once the book was announced and people started, you know, talking about it and, you know, kind of putting their own ideas of what should happen on the internet, I was like, I cannot see any of this. So I just walked away from that, and that's helped immensely. I don't know. It's been tricky because I did keep this book a secret for a very long time for this reason.
Right.
I didn't think the noise would be this loud, but I knew it would be better to write as much as possible before the show came out. So I did do that. Which I'm glad I did that. But yeah, there's still a little bit more to write, and I do feel I'm in a rare author space that not many authors have been in, where you're actively writing a series about characters that people really care about what's going to happen next to them.
Care.
So it's I do feel the pressure. I feel like it's a lot of responsibility to have these characters in my hands, but it's also such an honor to be able to be the one who gets to decide. So I'm having fun writing them again. I do love writing them, and I'm going to try to write the book that I want. I'm trying to pretend there's no show. I'm trying to pretend there's no fans. I'm trying to pretend I'm just writing for me. Yeah. Because that's how I wrote the first books, and I I think that that's probably the best approach, and I hope it is, and I hope everyone likes the book. I mean, I know not everyone will. That's impossible. You can't aim for that, but I hope I like the book, and then everyone else does too.
Well, it's a formula that's worked beautifully so far. So I say just keep going. Thank you so much for being here today, Rachel. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.